Thank you for tuning in to 7 Mobile Minutes, brought to you by 7 Media Group. Now, here are your hosts, Ron Carricker and Dave Morris.
And welcome to another edition of 7 Mobile Minutes. I'm Dave Morris. He's Ron Carricker. And Ron, we have survived the early commercial part of the holiday season, coming off of Thanksgiving with Black Friday, with Small Business Saturday. We had Cyber Monday, and today we're actually taping this on Tuesday, which is Giving Tuesday. We need something for tomorrow, for Wednesday, right?
Oh, I can think of a few things, but they're going to involve probably beer. So hangover Thursday. So whatever tomorrow needs to be.
You know, typically we highlight something in the latest in the mobile industry, and before we get off the Cyber Monday, huge numbers on that topic. Cyber Monday brought in huge numbers, but 44% of those sales, according to IBM, were mobile sales on Cyber Monday.
Yeah, I think the number I saw was $3 billion in sales. I mean, from the mobile devices purchasing. So we talked a few weeks ago about, people using their mobile phones to purchase with. And, a lot of the people weren't expecting a lot of purchases. But, yeah, I mean, you're talking about close to 50%. $3 billion, that's just in North America, U.S. That's a lot of money. I mean, and I'll say I contributed my fair share to that.
It does say something to the ease of using mobile. So retailers such as an Amazon, they make it very easy once you're dialed into that system. I think PayPal also had a huge weekend to make that purchase. And that's ultimately what, whether you're a brick and mortar or whether you're a cyber-based store, you want to make it easier for your customers to interact with you.
Yeah, absolutely, and we again, SMS. That's the primary way that a lot of these companies are exchanging communications with you. Whether I just did this yesterday. I made a purchase at Best Buy online. I'm going to pick it up in the store. They send me a text message saying your purchase is ready. Come pick it up. So the texting portion of everything is still very vital. Even though I make a purchase through my phone, through an app, that sort of thing, they still rely on SMS because they know it's a mechanism that they can rely on. But what I've seen this a number of times, and this is going to be kind of my soapbox 7 Mobile Minutes today, that I've seen a number of companies out there that are using phone numbers as their SMS delivery mechanism and not using short codes. So for those that don't know,
let's dive into that. Let's dive into that because we always get, hey, text this, or whatever to a specific number. Explain what short codes and then long codes are.
Yeah, so that, everybody hears the term short code. They probably never heard long code. In the carrier mobile industry, a long code is actually a phone number. It's a 10-digit number that you use every day. That's just what you would typically expect. A short code is a short code numbers of 5 or 6 digits, and that's what you see in marketing and promotional things like that. Short codes are leased and controlled by the carriers.
I was about to say there's a little bit of a cost involved in that, but you're locking down a specific code for your business.
Right. You are leasing that code to use with your platform. Your platform gets vetted by the carriers. They go through a very rigorous approval process for your system to say, okay, you're legit. We're going to allow you to lease this code and send bulk messages through your system to our system to deliver to customers. So that's the ideal situation. The Mobile Marketing Association that my company belongs to, the global watchdog, they take care of making sure that you're doing things the right way. That's the approved way that they look at it, that you should communicate in a large scale format with customers through SMS using short codes. But I'm seeing companies out there using long codes, using phone numbers. First of all, their systems aren't designed and created with the SMS language in mind and how it's delivered. Carriers don't like this, okay? The reason they don't is because it's a completely different platform on their end from a technical standpoint to manage that message to the end customer, the end user. And then also what happens is, because the carriers don't like it, you send out a bulk message to a phone number from a phone number, the carriers throttle that back. In times of heavy usage, carriers go, wait a minute, we don't know this phone number that's sending a message to 5,000 people. You might want it to go at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to send it at 10 o'clock tonight. So there's no real assurance on the part of the business or the platform they're using when they rely on a long code.
So why would a company then use a long code if they or perhaps they're a lack of education, not aware that the carriers may just red flag that?
Well, it's cheap. I mean, they can get away with it because it's cheap. They don't have to pay the carriers anything. They can build a real simple system on their end, collect phone numbers for a business, and then let the business blast out the messages. They don't have any relationship with the carrier, so they don't know if messages were delivered. They don't know if they were successful, if they got buffered, rejected. Those are all the things that a short code can provide to a business, is that reporting part that the carriers give back. But another aspect to it is too, if a long code user or business abuses that, the carrier has no real recourse other than blocking that phone number, okay? And then the person that's the mobile company can go back and just get another phone number and do it again, and get another phone number, do it again. If you lease a short code and you do it and you get blocked, you're out of business. So it's the cheap and easy and quick way to do mobile, but it's very dangerous, and it's a slippery slope. That's a lot of people say that, but they don't understand there's also a lot of legal ramifications to it too.
All right. Best practices for Ron Carricker for a small business moving forward when it comes to short codes. What steps do they need to take? Where do they even go to do this?
Well, yeah, there's so many mobile vendors out there these days. My company provides mobile services to, several hundred companies that are all over the board, from small businesses to large businesses, universities. We have that's one of the first questions that anyone should ask when they're vetting or looking for a company is, do you use short codes? And if so, what are they? And are you delivering on those short codes? So that's another part. Some of these guys have gotten clever, and they say, okay, we'll use a short code for you to text in to collect phone numbers, but when we send a message blast out, we're going to do it from a long code. So you need to ask those questions. Are you using short codes that are provisioned, licensed? Are you sending to the carriers through that short code like you're supposed to be?
And from a customer standpoint, everybody is very much concerned about security, especially when it comes to mobile purchases or any sort of cyber activity. Is there something that you might see as a professional that you would tell the layman, hey, here's something to consider if you see a deal or an offer or something like that, and they don't exactly have a short code?
Yeah. Typically, what you'll find, there's been so little spam in the mobile industry, but almost 100% of it, in many cases, is spam that is generated from a mobile phone number, from a long code, because it's so easy to do that and then get in and get out, right? So you get a text message that you won something or whatever, and they charge to your phone bill. There's so many things about a long code that when you get a message from that number, you should be wary of it, meaning from a retail business. Now, long codes have some effectiveness when it comes to things like your doctor, okay, or a dentist. If they're only sending a half a dozen or a dozen messages a day, it's just a reminder message. That's what those are designed to do in terms of SMS. But when it comes to a blanket bulk message I'm receiving from a major retailer and it comes from a phone number, there's a lot of things about that I don't feel protected. If I reply stop, most of these vendors don't have the mechanisms in place to manage that opt-out language, that stop. I just did this recently with the company that has come on board, and I do a lot of business with the power sports industry. These guys are out there saying they can do messaging and it's $99 unlimited messaging. Well, they're using long codes. So first of all, that's not the right thing to do. But just for the heck of it, I signed up. I get a text from them. I reply stop. I keep getting messages. That's illegal. That they can be sued for that. Not the vendor, but the dealership or the business that the messages are coming from. They're liable for that. So when they don't have the right mechanisms in place to manage that communication channel, and they don't listen to the customer, they're setting themselves up for some serious issues down the road. But like you said, the privacy and that aspect of it, if I know someone's using a long code as their mechanism for SMS, that gives me the thought that they're not doing other things right. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. You're going to do shortcuts here. Where else are you going to cut corners at? And is my data safe with you, right?
Good stuff. Ron Carricker dropping knowledge on the 7 Mobile Minutes. Ron, it's not quite the same as being Cabana side next to the Pacific, but...
Yeah, that's what's so bad is, and it's so funny because when we're on location, we have no technical problems, but all of a sudden, when we get in our offices and we're working, it's like audio doesn't work, speakers, so we just need to be out somewhere else. We need to always be away.
Absolutely. Next to the beach, hearing the sound of the surf. Ron, good stuff. Appreciate it.
Very good.
All right, another edition of 7 Mobile Minutes coming up next week.